back to another Tuesday Tips at 2 with the Goldbergs. Sara Goldberg here. Today I'm going to just give y'all a bit of an update on what's going on with deportation and immigration. Y'all might recall that when Biden first took office, he said, my first 100 days of office, I will go to deportations. No one will be deported. Now, what are the results? Actually, well, folks were still getting deported. And in fact, in Texas, there was a lawsuit saying that the Biden administration can't just put a full halt to deportations, and the judge sided with Texas. In fact, the deportations have continued, and actually I would have to say that they're even at a faster pace than I've ever seen it before in my 13 years of practice. Past 2 years, I haven't had that many final deportations. The reason is because the court has been closed. Unless you are someone who is detained, an immigrant that is detained and cannot be released, then it's likely that you haven't really had to face the judge for deportation. In fact, in the Houston court, it has been closed since March. And hey, it's April right now, so it's been over a year. And for now, I've seen that we have noticed it will be closed through May 14th. With that said, the Houston court is revving up to move forward and march forward at a very fast pace. What am I talking about? Well, I've now had many of my hearings, whether maybe they were never set for an individual hearing, which is their final deportation hearing. And I went from many people who haven't even stepped in court once to now getting notices for final hearings in front of an immigration judge. Typically in the past, I've had cases that lasted for some over 10 years, yes, over 10 years, with multiple appearances in front of a judge. Now what's happened is that the court has changed and they're wanting us to do a lot of written pleadings, meaning that instead of appearing before a judge and answering to charges, we're having to document what we are pleading to and submit that to the court. So we've been doing that, and so therefore clients that never faced a judge ever are now getting notices of final hearings, and they're not being scheduled for years ahead, which is what we've had previously. They're now being scheduled for August 2021, September, October, November 2021. I'm telling you, getting hearings that are in less than a year from now, it's pretty startling considering that it used to take years to even get in front of a judge for your preliminary hearing. And now I'm being told their final deportation hearing is happening in just a few months' time. I've seen from the past 2 years of having very few individual hearings to now having back-to-back, month after month occurring in my practice is a huge change. So for those individual attorneys who have massive deportation dockets, I can anticipate on their end that they're going to be inundated with hearings over and over, day by day, in the months after the summer. If you've thought that under this administration, deportation will be put to a halt, I have to tell you that is not true. It's happening at a faster pace than it ever has before. Many of my clients, when they receive a notice for deportation or with court, they actually don't realize. They think it's a court notice, but they don't equate that to be actual deportation. So if you know someone that has had a notice with court, it's really important to speak to an attorney and figure out what is the best way to handle it, especially now when we see that in the Biden administration, they are marching forward quick on trying to deport folks. And with that, just another tidbit, the border is still inundated. In fact, in the past couple of months, they've reached an all-time high of folks trying to enter the country in the past 15 years. That we're receiving the highest amount ever. And then particularly folks from Haiti, that in the year 2020 under the Trump administration, the numbers of how many folks from Haiti were deported versus in a few weeks' time under the Biden administration, the difference is astronomical, and that the Biden administration has deported more Haitians in a handful of weeks than the Trump administration did in all of 2020. And I'm telling you, I've been trying to look for this information and rates through the news, and I haven't really seen much about it. I don't think that Reporters are really reporting on this subject, but it's true. Deportation is really revving up, especially in the Houston area. So stay tuned until next time. And if you've got any questions, feel free to message us and continue to like, comment, and share. We love hearing from y'all. Until next time.